Hello, everyone. This is Meindert Montenegro from Nicaragua, and this is a great opportunity to be presenting right now here. And what I'm going to share to you, what I'm going to share with you today is going to be like how to teach grammar communicatively. All right, and I'm going to make use of some methods, and also I'm going to make use of an approach. Okay, we're going to make use of that so that we can blend them and we can use them in a way that we can foster and we can promote like teaching grammar communicatively. Okay, so here we go. But what's the difference? Okay, we have a method, and a method it's we can say it's like an application in terms of objectives, like classroom activities. For example, an example of a method is an autolingual method. The autolingual method requires teachers just to be like to play the main role and then having the students just repeating over and over again. I know that method it's a quite old method, but I mean, teachers just used to use it just for students just to repeat after them. Then we have, for example, that was our lingual method. Drill students in the use of grammatical sentences based on behavioral psychology, and all the work here was done by the teacher, and the students just had to repeat what the teacher used to say. Okay, but still, we're gonna make use of this method along with an approach. Okay, so and I'll explain to you a little bit about that right now. Okay, speaking of methods, we have the other one, which is the grammar translation method, and this one was actually one of the first ones. This one was about like it was just like the main focus was just like to have students just to be able to read literature written in the target language. In this case, for example, we will say English, or just to be able to translate from one language to another. And it was mainly just like on the reading and writing skill. That was it. So I'm not speaking at all as it was in the autolingual method. So far we have mentioned two methods so far. Okay. So the autolingual, which was about repeating, just like the teacher just pronounced words. And then we have the grammar translation, which was just like for practical purposes of translating. Okay, but now then we have the communicative approach. Okay, what's the communicative approach? As it says, an approach. It it it's basically it means that the main importance right here is like is to communicate in the target language. Okay, and that is like in the communicative approach. Sometimes if the students don't know the word, they might go to L1, which is like Spanish in this case, or they might go to and blend it with English. Oh, okay, but that's fine because the purpose in here was to communicate. All right, but why am I mentioning all these methods? Why am I mentioning this approach? Because the idea is to blend them. Okay, so like for example, um, to get the pronunciation from the autolingual. All right, and to get the reading skills, writing skills from the grammar translation, but also making use of a communicative approach, which fosters the speaking part. All right, the speaking and listening. Okay, so here I have. Let's see, what would be a good method for learning a language by this method? Okay, we can say as in the mock that I was proctoring like weeks ago, there was one that says the brick wall. Okay, what's a brick wall and what's organic gardening? Okay, what's the difference? All right, the brick wall. Let's say that it's about like let's see, learning another language by this method is like constructing a wall. So the bricks are not in the correct order. The wall will collapse. It is more like U-shaped curve. So what I'm trying to say here that if we go to traditional teaching, we're gonna go through the brick wall approach. But what instead why don't we just go to the organic garden? The organic garden, it's about like, let's see, we have the students. I like the language within the students. I like the flowers that haven't blossomed. Okay, so once the students are ready and are being exposed to communicating one another through the communicative approach, um, the target language will come eventually. Okay, what is the relevance of blending these methods and this approach? Okay, the relevance is the following. We have learners should be given opportunities to explore grammar in context. Okay, how do we do that? All right, how do we do it? We can do it like in the very We can do it by exposing it to real life material that can be videos, can be role plays, can be readings, can be all that basically. Um, Another thing is like when it comes to teaching grammar communicatively, we should neglect and totally avoid exercises involving repetition, manipulation, and grammatical transformation. Do we need to do that? Well, we should not neglect them all the time because sometimes they help. I mean, they help the students to remember the grammar they are targeting. All right. Okay, but how can I come with some? How can I come up with some activities that actually will allow me to have my will allow my students to be exposed to the grammar that they want to learn? Okay, here we have task-based learning. What is task-based learning? Task-based learning is like project learning, right? So we have students learning the grammar, but using the grammar in a project, in a task that requires it, so that in that way the learning is becoming meaningful. All right. Now, as you can see, the characteristics that we have right there, it says it has to engage the students, the learner's interest. And how do we do it? Okay, but by making it real. If we have like a real context, a real life situation that students have been exposed to, then that will call their attention and it will actually activate their schemata. For example, as we have, let's say, okay, guys, today we're gonna have a job interview. So students will actually look for the vocabulary and the grammar that it's supposed to be used in that context. So the class will become meaningful. Okay, what are some of what is a task-based lesson framework? Okay, so we have three, three stages: the pre-task, the introduction to the topics. So the teacher says, okay, today we're gonna talk about today we're gonna talk about job hunting. Okay, we're gonna talk about job hunting. All right, so that's a pre-task. The teacher started talking about that. Then the task cycle is okay. Now what you're gonna do is like you're gonna get a job. So students have to prepare for the job. So they have to prepare a resume. They have to dress formally, all appropriate, and that engages the student. And right at the end, we have the post-task language focus. Right in here is once the student has prepared everything, has prepared with the grammar, with the vocabulary, even the way he's going to dress for that situation, that project, that event, the job hunting interview thing, he's going to be like engaged because he's already aware of what happens in the job interview. At least he will have seen it in some videos, magazines, so he will have they will have seen their parents or friends doing it. Okay, so let's see. So why teaching grammar communicatively? Okay, number one, to do it, to be able to do it, we have to have our students. We have to expose our students to the grammar in context. Like I said it before. Okay, now let's go back. Instead of mentioning job hunting, we can say like let's talk about assumptions. Okay, let's say I give some examples of assumptions. The students will see them, and by seeing the examples that we write on the board, they can create their own grammar rules based on what they see on the examples. All right. Yes. How to the students will be engaged. Exposure, explanation, and engagement are the core ingredients, as I just mentioned before. And another thing just to mention is like effective grammar presentation share the following characteristics, which is inductive grammar. The students encounter the target grammar, as I said it before, in context. The teacher used various techniques to help the students notice the most important features of that item, diagram, different colors, timeline, etc. And in here, I'm talking about the method. That's why I say that we should use an eclectic method. For example, we can combine the autolingual with the grammar translation method and Suggestiopedia and so on, as long as it engages the students. Okay, what are some types of grammar practice that we can have? Now, in here, I have a list, and in this list, you will see just activities. Now, all these activities, they belong to different methods. For example, we have the repetitions, we have the drills. Of course, they belong to the ideolingual method, but then we also have the repeating the matter of the word, pro speak, like for example, disappearing dialogues, word replacing. So in here, or the dicto clause, thank you.